Hey everyone, so disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only, and this is my opinion. Use your own fact finding, your discernment. And Biden resigned. Now, if you go back to my very first community post on Jay Slater and my first Jay Slater read, and maybe a couple of reads after, I mentioned Jay Slater's case will be a distraction against a lot of stuff that is happening. And the time I also meant the UK elections, and I actually said it in terms of what policies could be happening behind the scenes, ready to be introduced, and we don't quite see them until they're introduced. Which is interesting because Spirit reminded me of that, because I was thinking about Biden resigned and endorsed Kamala Harris. Okay, Kamala Harris. I believe I'm saying it right. And although she might have the same foundational beliefs, the American people won't know what full policies she will want to work at and introduce. And so even right now, her campaigning might change. And so it's always worth a little ear into some of the things I mentioned. And then on my first Trump read, where he got convicted, I said, look out for how things unfold, because you're going to be like, what the hell was all this about? Because we were saying he's a felon, he's a criminal, etc., etc., and things are going to be taking twists and turns, and we're going to be like, we were so in this for months and months and months, and it seems like you're going to complete that sentence for me. Then when I did the next reading on Trump, the A that happened with Thomas Crooks, I mentioned directly, sensitively, you also have to think, if Biden came in and won, he will not fulfill his full tenure. Who comes second? So keep that in mind when you're voting. I actually didn't, I thought if he does get in, it'd be 6 months for him to last. Now, honestly, I've not seen Biden speak. I think in the past I've seen Trump many years ago, and then more recently, after I did the reading on the A that occurred, I think on the 13th of July, the attempted A, I saw 4 minutes of the rally, and that would have been like maybe the second time I've heard him speak, you know, but I never listened to whole full-on speeches. But I've never heard Biden. And even over like a year ago in one of my psychic predictions global, and also when I was speaking about Lucy Letby, I mentioned about Biden's aura, him not all being there. So I know definitely over a year or so, he's definitely been going through this. But again, like I said, I haven't really watched anything. It's only when I do the predictions. And then in the weekly read of energies, where it's from the 16th to the 22nd, I mentioned how we can navigate those energies. And I also mentioned some of the energies that will be coming up. I also mentioned it in the description box. And if you caught the description box, I also mentioned there will be a government or a political change or announcement. I can't remember the wording I put around the 21st. And I think it was in Trump's reading as well that I mentioned, watch a movement or something next with Joe Biden that's not related to this attempted A. I'm not saying that I fully, maybe if I sat and it was the only thing I'm working on, just sat for a moment to really kind of focus in, I probably would have said totally that he was going to step down on that date. But I had inclinations and I wasn't sort of putting off full-on prediction, and I wanted to be sensitive about it. So, you know, where I mentioned description boxes or where I mentioned other reads, it's always worth checking in on the reads, even if it's not a subject that you enjoy or that you're following. So for example, Caleb Harris's read, there's a wider message maybe there. So why did he step down? Like, I've tried searching and looking for to see how he is when he delivers this speech. But what I understand, it was a statement that he's stepping down from the next election, and it'd be Kamala. So was it a statement or did he do a speech? And then I decided to look at Kamala, a speech she did. I don't know if it was her acceptance or what it was. It was a couple of minutes that I saw where she was like, she wanted to thank the president, and also it was weird because she was like, thank you. She was like, something like, big it up for my husband or something. I thought, why are you doing that? Like, no, that is just not professional. And then she talks about Biden, which I felt was really lovely. And she says the first time she heard about, or she got to know Biden, was through his son, Bo, is that right? And how he spoke of him and how everything he said of him has turned out to be true. That's all I heard. That's all I've ever heard of Kamala. So I don't know what she's like. But what I'm getting is that people would have preferred probably Joe Biden to continue to go in. Now, as obviously I looked for the statement, etc., then my feed starts getting with all US news and anything with Joe Biden. And as I'm scrolling, you know, the thumbnails and the titles sometimes I look at, but I don't click in case I'm going to do a reading. There's one where, you know, as I'm scrolling, it's as if he was giving a speech, or there was a debate or something like that, and he walks and then he falls. This is Joe Biden. And I didn't click on it to see, but I didn't like it. I didn't like to see, I don't like anyone to see someone in such deteriorating health, or to, I don't even know if he looked confused, or I presume, seeing as I pick up on that aura, he must be looking quite concerning cognitively for people. I wonder how he is when he delivers his speeches. There must be kind of some resonance there that he's degenerating in terms of, like I mentioned, maybe senile or dementia or something. But why did he step down? Why did he step down? And I must say, Trump needs double up security right now. Did anyone see, by the way, I think it was, well, if I get to time to process this, it's the morning for me. If I process this on time, it was last night that the SS director, Secret Service director, was held in a Congress, and I didn't watch it all, but I've seen clips. And today I see like, this is BS, or you're full of S, or, you know, what is wrong with you? Do you have Alzheimer's? Do you have something? And I was just thinking, this is a bit, you know, there was a failure. It was so clear there was a failure, but I don't know how that went, if any of you have seen it, but it looks like, are you allowed to talk to people that way? I mean, it's a bit out of order. Like, the bare minimum respect for a human is just not there from these thumbnails that I see from actual news. So I might try and watch more clips, but if so, that, I don't know, I don't think I would agree with that. Even though major failure, I think there should still be a lot of respect. Like, you have failed us, you have failed the ex-president, you are a concern. You know, even in my read, I said about how this would be a concern in terms of foreign countries having their eye on either an ex-president or the states. I mentioned it in my readings. So just in this intro, I've mentioned 4 different readings or posts where this would not have been a shock to you that he steps down if you do catch my readings. So why did he step down? I'm independent, I'm not Republican, I'm not Democratic. I don't live in America, I can't judge. But I'm not sensing that, like I said, I'm not sure that people are excited that Kamala is coming in instead. And to be honest, in the next read, I will look at Trump, Kamala's energy towards the people and what they are thinking currently to do if they won. Like, what's the energy towards what they can serve for the people? So if you're enjoying this, make sure you hit a like. I think in the last read as well, I mentioned about Elon Musk coming through for Trump, and I had a comment that Elon Musk has, and he's donating a certain amount. I wonder if he still remains, is he a Republican voter, or was it just because he wanted to prove the point that what's happening with Trump is incorrect? So why did Biden step down? That's the Tower. We'll take it. I think it said Biden steps down because of COVID, endorses Kamala on one of the thumbnails. But again, like I said, I was looking for his speech on that, but I couldn't find if anyone knows his speech, or was it just a statement. A Tower moment for him. Ooh, Devil in reverse. That's not good, is it? That's not COVID. I mean, he might do, but it's not COVID. Zoom. Oh no, it's okay. I was going to say I've got nothing to show his health. And upright is not showing me a health concern. But let's discuss this right now. We've got the Tower. Okay, so there's been a sudden Tower moment. He's not been planning this a long time, even though his health has been deteriorating. I wonder if he was feeling like he couldn't win it. I wonder if he was feeling like he could not win this election. You know, this is sudden Tower moment in him feeling powerless. Like feeling like a bit helpless. I think he's probably not feeling good at the moment. I think he's feeling like I won't be surprised if the 8 of Swords comes up, but I think he didn't think he could win this. I think he's also realized that he's lost the youthful essence that it needs. In a sense, it needs maturity, but it also needs kind of like a bit of as well as being able to be a great leader and politician, it requires some emotional relatability and grounding towards the people, and there's something that he's questioning there. And I wonder with this if he thinks that Kamala can do it. Now, to be honest, I think the American people need again to feel heard, need that empathy, and need to feel safe. And whoever can do that is going to win this. Now, if we think of between DNA and the way men and women are formulated, usually women can deliver that empathy and emotional side or connectivity a lot more than men. It's just the way we're built. But can Kamala do that? That's the question. As a woman, she should have that advantage to Trump. But here, I'm seeing that Joe Biden felt a sudden feel of powerlessness, and he had to give up his power because he didn't feel like he could win this. And he wanted to give it up to someone younger, which I believe Kamala is. And here's Kamala. I think he also believes that this was in kind of like that. So it was a burden choice for him, but at the same time, he feels a bit of burden lifted from him. Is this the Eight of Wands, Hermit? I think he did quite a bit of reflecting. And although he wanted to hold on, and I think that was his message until this message, which I think then people were surprised. I think he came to some realization that he wasn't sure he was going to win. And I think he realized as well that he could have had some communication from a heavy Virgo placement as well. That's made him sort of reflect. Fears, yeah. Fears on whether he's going to be able to do this like he has in the past. There's also a secret around this, and I wanted to mention, this is not the only twist or kind of powwow you're getting in this. I don't know how what date is the election? November 5, right? But what exact date is it? November 5, Tuesday. 100% the person that will win is the person that can bring empathy, safety, and emotional connectivity and relatability to the US people, regardless of what side you are on. People might switch. I don't know by when you need your votes in. And if that's not going to come through, I don't know if your election can be delayed or date can be changed. There's something more coming through. And he's endorsed Kamala, but can she be taken out? He really did have a fear that he could not win this. He had a fear that he wasn't going to be able to run for the whole election. And I think something came through that was a fear of him, of his, that really brought that to light, that he needed to do this. So far, I'm not seeing that he was coaxed out of this. I'm seeing that he actually held on, wanted to do, but something's come through. Where has he been, by the way? I see that he has been, I didn't see any speech, so maybe he has, but I see that he made his statement, but he's in the background. Has he appeared since then? Has he said anything else? Now his health. His health. His health is not, his health is not in the best state, which we know, so I'm not stating anything. And he is fighting that. So that would be his secondary reason. But we don't know what epiphany he had. It might have been around the health. Oh my God, there's so many secrets around this. There's so many secrets. And I just want to pull a clarifier. Yeah, I knew this was going to come out. Devil, right? Devil in reverse. Yeah, look. I think he's been... I don't like to say this, but these cards, he has had something done to him. He has had like dark, I hate to say, you know, like dark magic kind of stuff done to him. Even possibly like deeper state, deep, is it deep state that I got in my last one? That's what we're not seeing. There was manipulation here. I knew it was going to come. That's why I got that deck. I knew there was something more. This is not nice. I would not wish this on anyone, but this is an energy of also why he stepped down. Okay, so he's had clear communication that it will be the end of him. Whether this is you need to step down or threats that it is truly the end of him, not just his presidential. Like for example, you need to step down I think he's had threats. I think he's had serious threats from people he knows is not like Thomas Crooks. Strong organizational. How did I knew? I knew it. I swear I knew it. That's why I split the deck, Hierophant. He has had threats upon his life. I can't believe how dark this is. 2 decks and the dark cards come out. Higher ups, it could be deep state. Someone very high up, powerful. How is Russia's connected to Russia? How is Russia's connection with Trump or Biden, by the way? Is it stronger with Trump? Because I said split the deck. King of Swords, if there's connection to Russia. Like every card that I've asked for is so clear here. And that's the secret of not seeing. He has had direct communication. This will be the end of you. And I won't be surprised if he's not made an appearance since then, because I've been asking, has he made an appearance or not? I think the next reading in terms of Kamala, feeling into the election, etc., I'll do separately, which I was going to do in here with why did he step down, because I also want to see how Trump is feeling. But this election date around the 5th of November, I'm telling you more, there's something more that's going to come through, but this is not fair for anyone to go through. It doesn't have to be the US president at the forefront. It can be an organization, but it's a serious one. And what he's done to take the steps from this energy, they could have taken him out if he didn't listen. Will he end up disclosing this? He reflected for some time. He did fear. And he tried to keep the smug face on. He tried to keep, like a joyful face on, but there's a turn here that shook him, along with his health. But if this didn't also occur, would he have pulled out? I'm not sure. No, he wouldn't. If it was solely down to his health, he wouldn't, as long as it's kind of like where it is, to the point where, no, you can't anymore. And I think it's a very difficult decision, because I think Trump has a happy time, like, having a go at him, and he's on the defense and having a go at Trump. These two, like, look at them, right? Look at them, you can tell. Did Joe Biden have dark hair when he was younger? I don't know. I think Trump is going to have to watch what he says around Kamala, whereas I think between them two, Biden did get a bit vulnerable because of his state being a bit more degenerative, well, a lot more degenerative than Trump, his health. But if it wasn't, he could really serve the dish back to Trump. And I think they also had a way of like enjoying their kind of backlash. I don't know why I'm getting something about Trump saying that he's really old or something, but I don't think Trump is that much younger. But you're throwing hate comments to each other, but then do you know how sarcasm and jokes just roll off your tongue without even thinking, and you're like, oh, it's just us two. it's just Biden. Biden's thinking, oh, it's just Trump, you know, is a male and stuff. And it's kind of like, don't have to think about it, gets to that stage. I think that's where they were, but Biden was feeling a bit more vulnerable as his state was getting worse. So I don't know if he could keep up with, like if they were having a debate stuff, I don't know if he could keep up with it. It was getting a bit stressful. But where was I getting with this? Yeah, he was going to keep going. Although he has handed it over with love to Kamala. No resentment here. This has happened. This has happened. Where is Biden? Where is he? I dare say he's gone into hiding. I think we need to be careful around his health right now. And I think for him to be in hiding is important. I've said stuff in this read that probably should have only been on Patreon, but it's for entertainment purposes, disclaimer. I will be rolling out memberships. The membership, I will explain it in a small video because it's going to be a tier 1 and I'm going to go to a tier 2. So, I mean, it's only £3, less than £3, £2.99. So you can't expect everything. I know some people expect everything, but you can support by a super thanks. And you can also join Patreon. But I'll go down into just basically the memberships is to try and help and support. I'll go into what it includes on that tier level 1 before we do number 2, but there's also going to be there's the Patreon in place at the moment. I'm not going to continue to read the next question in terms of Kamala. I'm going to leave that for the next read, where I was going to say tapping into Trump and Kamala towards the people. We're going to leave that there. I think, you know, I've mentioned what's key here. And, you know, I can understand a lot of people scared at this moment in time. You need unity. And whether you're a Republican or Democrat, send Biden love. Because if this is happening, this is heavy. This is heavy. Let me know who's closer to Russia. Let me know if he's been in the public eye. Watch news for his health. He has to be the president until January, I believe. But if you've not seen him, take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.